Okay, so picture this. On July 1st, 2025, our solar system gets a visitor. But this isn't just any visitor. This is a mysterious object hurled from a completely different star system, just blasting through our neighborhood at an unbelievable speed. Today, we're going to unpack the incredible story of this object, 3I/Atlas. And you know, this visitor brought with it a huge question, one that scientists are still trying to wrap their heads around. Was this thing a once-in-a-lifetime scientific gift, a chance to study something totally new? Or was it a terrifying warning shot, a preview of a threat that we are just completely unprepared for?
All right, so let's start at the beginning, the discovery. On that day back in 2025, astronomers using the Atlas telescope system spotted something different. They named it 3I/Atlas, and right away, it was obvious this was no ordinary rock, mainly because of its mind-boggling speed.
Get this, 134,000 miles per hour. That's more than 60 kilometers a second. To put that in perspective, that's fast enough to cross the entire United States in just over a minute. This thing wasn't just drifting through space, it was moving like a bullet. And it was so rare. This was only the third confirmed interstellar object humanity has ever detected. I mean, think about that. In all our centuries of staring up at the stars, we've only ever seen two others like it. That's it.
So what even is an interstellar object, or an ISO? Well, you can think of it like a cosmic tourist. It's an object that was born around some other star, got kicked out of its home system, and was left to just wander the galaxy, sometimes for billions of years, before taking a quick trip through ours.
So how were astronomers so positive it was an outsider? The proof was really in its path. You see, unlike our planets, which travel in these nice, predictable oval orbits, 3I/Atlas was on what's called a hyperbolic trajectory. And that's basically a dead giveaway that it was moving way too fast to get caught in our sun's gravity. It was just passing through on its way back out to deep space. But okay, this is where the story gets really strange. As 3I/Atlas made its closest approach to the sun in October 2025, it stopped behaving like a normal comet. It started doing things that absolutely baffled scientists and kicked off this huge debate about what on earth it could possibly be.
Yeah, a whole bunch of weird things were happening. First, it accelerated. It actually sped up as it was leaving our system, pushing away from the sun faster than gravity could account for. Then there was the way it looked. It seemed to have this anti-tail, a stream of stuff pointing towards the sun, not away from it, which looked a lot like thruster exhaust to some people. And on top of all that, its chemical signature was just totally unlike any comet from our own solar system.
So all this weird data led to two very different camps. On one side, you had folks speculating that, hey, maybe that acceleration was caused by some kind of advanced propulsion system, and that anti-tail was the proof. But on the other side, the mainstream scientific community had a natural explanation. They argued it was a comet made of super volatile ices, like frozen carbon monoxide, that were basically exploding into gas in the sun's heat, acting like little rocket engines. And those thrusters? Just an optical illusion. Well, after some really intense observation from telescopes all over the solar system, including the Hubble, scientists were finally able to reach a consensus. The mystery of 3I/Atlas was about to be solved.
And the verdict is, it wasn't aliens. Sorry to burst that bubble. The evidence just overwhelmingly pointed to it being a natural, though very weird, interstellar comet. Its unique chemical recipe made it act in ways we'd just never seen before, which created that mysterious acceleration all by itself.
But the story doesn't end there. Not even close. In fact, this is where it gets truly alarming. Because even though 3I/Atlas itself turned out to be harmless, its visit exposed a terrifying weakness. The real takeaway wasn't about aliens, it was about planetary defense.
Because now you have to ask the question, right? What if it hadn't missed? What if this high-speed bullet from the depths of space had been aimed right at Earth?
The real danger wasn't its size. I mean, it was about 2 kilometers wide, which is big, but the real danger was its speed. Basic physics tells us that kinetic energy, well, it goes up with the square of the velocity. So when you take a number as huge as 134,000 miles per hour and you square it, the amount of energy you get is just almost beyond comprehension.
To give you some context, the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima released about 0.015 megatons of energy. The Tsar Bomba, the biggest nuke ever tested, was around 50 megatons. An impact from 3I/ATLS would have released about 2.7 million megatons of energy. Just let that number sink in for a second. 2.7 million megatons. We are talking about a full-blown extinction-level event. Simple as that.
And here's the really chilling part. We only spotted it 4 months before it got here. That is nowhere near enough time to do anything. And even if we had years of warning, we have absolutely no technology right now that could stop something moving that fast. The result? An unavoidable impact triggering a global impact winter that would blot out the sun for years on end.
So, as 3I/Atlas continued on its journey, heading back out of our solar system, it left behind a really profound and, honestly, an unsettling message for every single one of us down here on Earth.
When you boil it all down, the visit from 3I/Atlas was two things at once. The good news? It was an incredible scientific gift. I mean, we got to study a piece of another solar system up close. But the bad news? It was a cosmic fire alarm, proving without a doubt that we are defenseless against these high-speed interstellar threats.
Today, 3I/Atlas is just hurtling away from us, heading back into that silent, dark void between the stars. It's never coming back, but the warning it delivered, that's here to stay.
And remember, this was only the third one of these we've ever seen. Statistically, we know there are more out there. Another one is coming, eventually. The only real question is, after the massive wake-up call that was 3I/Atlas, will we be ready for it?